welcome to my table. This is Amanda with Journey in the Stone Oracle, here to do another all-card, long-form reading for someone somewhere. I'm going to use every single card in the deck. So the story here is going to be pretty specific, and it's not going to apply to probably most people. If this is not your message, I hope that you'll explore my channel, maybe find something else. If this is your message, I'm so glad you're here. We're going to dig in and see what we can find out today. I don't know exactly what is going to come from this reading, but I know it will be dynamic. I'm going to slip a little bit into the energy that I'm feeling at this moment before we begin. I feel a little restless. I feel solid, but I feel like I'm waiting for something to happen. Not like I'm waiting for a phone call, but like a long-term sort of thing, something that is a long time in the making. Let's begin. I feel like I have a lot of questions, but they're not the kind of questions that could be answered by anybody else. This is an inner kind of dialogue. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, this may be this is beginning to feel a lot like a personal type pilgrimage here, like a spiritual pilgrimage. There's a need to take control over things that no longer serve one's self any longer. There's been an end to a cycle, but what I'm feeling is I'm feeling much more at the forefront of a new cycle here. Someone is taking control of their life. Someone has cut out some historical dialogue. Someone has cut the cord and broken and or completed certain karmic contracts. There is an element of knowing here, and definitely an element of power. I'm sensing a little bit of challenge coming out of a place of isolation. And I don't mean isolation in the sense of, completely isolating yourself. I mean, I feel like there's somebody here who has something they want to bring out into the world, but it's not necessarily, it breaks tradition. And there's a little bit of a fear here that it will not be well received. There's an element of feeling some anxiety about coming out. But there's a lot to gain here. There's a lot of love, emotion, maybe almost too much emotion around something you've been working on. Something highly personal, something that you're feeling very protective over. But it's a calling, it's an inner calling. It's something that was brought to you from the divine, and it is urging you to bring out into the light. I feel like this is something like really precious to you that you've been nurturing internally or separately from, the public eye or even members of your own family or household. But it's staring you right in the face now, and it's really time to get it out of you. And you may need to put up some defenses. You may need to steel yourself a little bit. At least for myself, when working on a personal project, it can be nerve-wracking bringing it to to the forefront, or bringing it out of our, private world and into a more public world, because it's like a baby, right? We don't want anyone to hurt it, harm it. We feel protective over it. I don't know exactly what's going on here just yet, but I'm sensing an element of there's still some questions about how to do something, or questions about how to bring something out into the open. But it's something that's really precious and important to you. There's an element of fear or anxiety around how it will be received, and it's like, I mean, this could be a creative project, a song, a painting. This could be an ideal, a theory, a philosophy. I mean, you fill in the blank here, but what I'm getting is a solitary energy here, who is feeling like imagine a little, like a baby bird in an egg, right? Like the egg is starting to crack open, and I'm feeling some restlessness, like there's a desire to come out, but there's also this comfort of being inside, because, little harm can come. You're in a protected type cocoon. You've been working on something really precious and important, something that you believe in, but part of the path here is to share it, to offer it, and there seems to be some restriction here. It seems like it's mental. There's some anxiety present. And it's because there's a profound sense of love in whatever it is that you're working on. This is a passion project or spiritual pilgrimage. There's something valuable here. And, maybe you've tried to gain the support of friends or family, or maybe you even confided in someone that you really care about, or someone that you love, and maybe you didn't get the feedback or the support that you need. And so you're still kind of at an in-between place with this, where you're not entirely prepared to bring it out into the light. Whatever it is, there's a tremendous amount of power here, and the divine has been working with you. I think that you've probably transmuted some pain. You certainly have cracked the code in some things, and the moon asks you to essentially be illuminated here, and bring forward your secrets, so that others can receive the kind of messages and healing that they need. It's important at this time that you do get out of your way, break out of your comfort zone, and yes, like they say, take a leap of faith here. You are divinely protected. There's a lot of divine guidance available to you at this time. There's an opportunity for this project, this theory, this thing, this creation of yours, this wisdom that you've gathered. It can provide a tremendous amount of stability for you, yes, but also acclaim and celebration. People very likely will celebrate your accomplishment, whatever it may be, and someone may actually make an offer of some sort. It may this whatever this is could bring in financial gain. It could bring in an opportunity for financial abundance. Definitely, you may be receiving an offer. You may be receiving the kind of accolades and praise that will uplift you and fortify your confidence and give you some more energy to keep going down this path. There is a victory here. It feels like there's a reluctancy. There's a little bit of you may be feeling inhibited. The Queen of Wands reversed. This is not natural energy for Wands. Wands is very brave and courageous and ambitious and driven and excited and charismatic and adventurous, etc. In reverse, there's all that is still present, but it's a little bit afraid. However, there's tremendous reward here for you in the form of recognition, and I see that you may be receiving communication from someone about what it is that you're doing. Maybe that's happening now. Maybe it won't happen until you go the extra step of bringing whatever this is out into the light. There's heavy communication coming in and an offer there's offers coming in. There's an offer for financial abundance. You may gather a loyal following as well, but there is the possibility of another element of new beginning here. Like you may feel a whole new wave of inspiration coming your way. Someone may offer you an opportunity to further this kind of brainchild thing that you have going on right now. There's offers coming in left and right. You're onto something. I don't know what it is. It feels spiritually based, creatively based, whatever it is. There's messages, there's guidance, there's protection, there's insight coming from the divine. It is helping to drive this machine of yours, and you're feeling very protective of it, but you realize it needs to come out into the open in some format, whatever that looks like. And it's going to bring in a lot of offers, opportunities, and communication. There's a lot of possibility. However, there's a step that you need to take that there seems to be a little bit of a challenge getting into. So let's find out more about that. What is challenging our viewer right now? What is the challenge for our viewer? Okay. All right, so there's a couple of things that I'm seeing and hearing. Take what applies. Don't force things. Your inner wisdom, guidance, and voice is far superior to anything that you'll ever gather from a reader with their cards. One of the messages I'm getting is that someone is a real perfectionist here. They would rather take the slow approach so that they can come off as calm, cool, collected as possible. There's almost this compulsion to have everything perfect, and it's slowing down the process. And that's just the process for some people. I'm a perfectionist, but it's not always. Sometimes we just can't. Sometimes we just have to move forward, even if things aren't exactly dialed in the way we want, because the timing is saying now is the time. I feel like with the King of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, there's a tremendous amount of passion here, and some form of brilliance, but it's lagging. There's a lagging element here, and I think it has to do with somebody coming out of their own wounded, inner critic stuff, and not worry so much about what other people think. This Queen of Cups reverse is like, will they love me? Will they not understand this? Will I expose myself? There's a vulnerability here, but there's also tremendous passion and insight. So there's this element of perfectionism. There's also this element of a lack of confidence, but also the other thing is this fear of exposure. Whatever it is that is being created here is hugely personal, but it's like a personal story, but the names are different. Take what you will from that. The challenge is perfectionism, lack of confidence, and fear of exposure. Okay, so let's keep going here and let's see what else we can find. What can our viewer expect? What can our viewer expect? Well, you can expect to be challenged. And I don't mean exterior forces. This feels very self challenge with the swords. It's a lot of mental conflict and anxiety. There's an element of, fear of backlash, or, this beautiful thing that you've been nurturing being eviscerated. There's also an element, a challenge of just inaction. With the Two of Cups reverse, it feels like there's a chance you're not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. You're having too many anxious thoughts and ideals, and you're forgetting in the process of all this, of creating and stressing, to love yourself, to praise yourself, to take care of yourself. Make sure that you are taking your vitamins or getting the kind of physical exercise that you need. You need to get the rest that you need to get. There's an element of draining oneself and actually having a lot of stress around this. And what's interesting is that whatever it is that you're creating is healing for the world and others. It's also healing and rewarding for you, but it's almost so precious that it's like you're afraid to reveal it to the world. You're afraid to reveal yourself to the world, and you're also creating some stress by not bringing it into the world, because you understand it needs to be shared, but you're also battling your own thing. So you're doing we're doing some kind of creative, beautiful, brilliant, healing, creative work, but you're also simultaneously doing shadow work. And so that's a lot of stuff to be doing. But the divine is really on your side here. And I sense that and I feel it in my guts. There's an opportunity to really, profit on this, and I don't mean that in the in the in the kind of way that it may sound. By profit, I mean there's a lot of currency here for you in terms of healing and in terms of boosting your self-confidence, and I do think that there's an opportunity for financial gain here, because I think that by putting whatever this is out there in the world, by putting yourself out there in the world, you're going to manifest opportunity for financial abundance. There's an element of divine intervention here, making sure that there is a clear path, and that certain elements of whatever's happening here is divinely protected and guided. With the Knight of Cups reverse and the Page of Wands reverse, I feel like there's heart healing and there's some lack of confidence in the situation. Spirit is warning against ignoring the call to take action. You did not ignore the call to move into this project, this passion project. I don't know what it is. It's going to be different for everybody, but it's something really impactful and meaningful. You had this calling to take on a new business, to take on a certain task, to do some certain work, and you didn't ignore that call, and you actually made sacrifices, and you maneuvered through a lot of dark night status to receive the messages to begin, and Spirit is warning against getting stuck and letting your own mental noise interfere with the calling to bring it forth into the world. There's a sense of needing to stop fighting timing here. It could stand in the way of your joy, your ultimate wish, and interfere with the divine plan for your life. It really is time to let go and show the world your power, your presence, what you've been working on. God, the world really needs this. I feel like the world really needs this. And when I say the world, I mean your community, your neighbors, your family, the people who follow you on social media. You fill in the blank. There's an audience that needs to see what it is that you've been doing, because it actually will lead them towards their own sense of direction. There's a need to stop squandering. Well, the way it feels like you're just holding on to this thing, and it's so precious, and but it can become selfish. And that, I'm not saying you're selfish. I'm saying that there's a lot of need for whatever it is that you've created. With the World in reverse and the Empress in reverse, it's like, don't let your gift, your offering be diluted by withholding or by what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, it's escaping me. I'm going to keep moving. There's just a need to share. I'm so hung up on this word. Anyways, let's move on. Yeah, what I'm hearing is there almost gets a point where you're so full that it's like the runoff just disappears if you're not in the garden, right? So take your big full cup someplace where it will feed the ground, where it will feed the people, rather than oversaturate your own space. There's lots of starving creators out there who need inspiration. There are a lot of sensitive, empathetic people who want to share a message but are afraid and could use your inspiration at this time. The plan was for, maybe you didn't know this, but the plan has always been for whatever it is that you're creating to be shared with the world. So you can have your own plans to, keep it your own, but the divine selected you and gave you the calling because they knew that you would have the capacity to reach certain people, places, or things with your magical touch. It's going to make you feel so good. And it's inevitable, like you are moving in this direction, and the absolute ultimate in personal fulfillment is also inevitable through this project idea thing that you're creating, by holding on to it for your own. You're just delaying the process. You're not stopping the process, you're delaying the process, and you may reach less people. Okay. Well, so there's still, I think you've associated this creation of yours with it's kind of latched to some form of healing for you, and you're not feeling entirely on the other side of that healing process. And so that makes sense. That makes sense. There's still a healing process, and the two feel almost synonymous. Don't get too hung up on perfectionism here. It actually creates disharmony. It actually alienates you. Perfectionism it doesn't exist. It's a construct, and you can tweak and adjust things as you go. It doesn't reflect negatively on you. It actually humanizes you and endears you to others. Knight of Wands reversed with the Chariot. That's interesting. It's almost like you're not even driving this anymore. You'd like to think that you're in control of this, but you're not. Like the Knight of Wands can move with haste and can be precarious, especially in the reverse position. But the Chariot is this divinely guided movement in a direction. So the image that's coming to mind is just like this runaway, horse wagon, and someone trying to get control of it, but your attempts are futile. You are participating in a co-creation with the divine, and the divine will find a way for this effort, for this work, for this love child, so to speak, to reach others. There's a need to drop some of the other things that you're doing and focus intently on building your inner strength. Now, for some, that is by creating disciplined type tasks and activities that will boost their confidence and build their inner strength. But with the Knight of Swords, this feels much more like, you know, the strength to just rip off the Band-Aid, the strength to just jump in head first. Like there's quick movement, like get strong fast. Okay. Yeah, there's a need to get strong fast. There's the possibility here, and I it's hard to say this because what's meant to be will never pass you by, but there's this missing the boat type element here. Like, not missing the boat necessarily, but like being just on the outside of the sweet spot. So if you have something in the works and you know it's special and it's very special to you, and you can recognize and feel validated right now through this reading that, yeah, you are withholding because you're afraid of, you know, criticism and someone damaging or hurting your baby. You know, if you can recognize that this is your reading and you have this idea that there is a deadline here, try to meet that deadline. Don't push that deadline. There's a timing element here for me present in this reading that says not that you would miss an opportunity, but that you could conceivably be just on the outside of the sweet spot. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't get the returns, or you don't reach the audience, or you don't complete the good work. It just means that there's a really sweet spot here. With the Three of Swords reversed next to the Ace of Cups, this is the sweet spot thing that I'm feeling. It's still there, but it's just it's a little less. And with the King of Swords, like this is like indecisiveness. This is not, you know, thinking clearly. This is letting negative inner dialogue do the rationalizing here. And I feel like if you haven't set a deadline for yourself, do it now, and support yourself through that process, and try to stick with it. Try to avoid this notion of perfectionism in this vision, because the world is imperfect. People are imperfect. Even Source and the divine operates with this idea that perfection is really just a road towards evolution. There's no such thing as perfect. You know, the quest for perfection can lead you down two roads: just destruction, or it can cause you to reevaluate your expectations and evolve. There, you've put a lot of work and effort into something. It would be just absolutely terrible to squander it by trying to keep it for yourself. There's a quote, and I can't, yeah, if I think of it, I'll put it in the description, but the love you liberate in your work is the only love you keep. And this is something that I return to frequently in the different kinds of work that I do. There is there's a gift that you have to give, and while it feels like it's for you, you know, there's a healing aspect connected to this. It's actually meant to be on a bigger stage. The Seven of Pentacles reverse, they're like, you know, don't let this harvest go to waste. Don't let your mind, Ace of Swords, inhibit the abundance and volume that this particular endeavor could reach. Yeah, stop worrying about what won't work, what hasn't worked. Yeah, you've sorted through a lot of your toxic behaviors. There's a lot of balance in the universe right now for you. And the time is now with this Eight of Wands. It's like, get this message out. Get the message out. There's harmony here. This notion of perfectionism, or this idea of you know, or fear of being exposed, or, you know, people won't see me for what I really am, or they may just see the negative, or I don't know. But the devil represents those thoughts. And the Six of Pentacles is like, nope, you are going to get what you put in. And the universe is there to make sure that the balance of the scales is right. So there's a need to communicate quickly, and or you are receiving communications at this time, making requests for you to boldly step in this direction. And that could be from people you know, that could be from universe, that could be your inner voice. Don't delay, because things are coming in at this time. Don't let the foundation that you've laid interfere with this passionate project of yours. I'm sorry, hold on. I just had a thing. No, don't let the foundation that you've laid dissolve under the weight of this decision. You've already put in so much work, you know, and that's just like the task element of it. There's a lot of spiritual work and personal work here that's taken place. And, you know, don't delay, because things are starting to trickle in, and what we want is we want it to flood in, because that is our abundance. And you know, the Three of Pentacles is suggesting that there's already a foundation in place here that you've laid, and it's significant, and and there may be other people involved, but it feels like there's this decision that's hung up on this fear of being exposed. Yet you're probably a very private person, and this is something that is very, very special, personal, and private to you, and you're afraid of being rejected. Let's get some outcome. Okay, so this is going to go one of two ways here, all right? The way I'm seeing all these reversals here is almost like it's the upright meaning, but with like a little veil over it, with a little fog, a little tarnish. There's a chance that you can keep this all to yourself, and you'll still, you know, evolve from it and receive abundance from it, but it won't be at the level that it should and it can be, which is tremendous. There's a need to dig deep and go in a little bit here with the Six of Swords reverse. I feel like, you know, maybe you've been running away from kind of confronting this, and it's possible that you recognize that there's something miraculous here. You're very powerful. You're very, very powerful. With the Nine of Pentacles here, with the King of Pentacles and the Sun, don't be afraid of your own success. Don't fear your own success. You have to walk in the light, my dear friend, because your work is light work. Whatever it is that you've done, it's healing. It's been healing for you, yes, but it now it's time to bring it forward. Don't be afraid of your own success. You can be successful by revealing your shadows. You can be successful by revealing your secrets and how you've overcome certain obstacles and challenges. I feel like there's an element, this is just a highly personal project, and you recognize that it can be of some good, and maybe you're afraid to profit off of it. Maybe that feels yucky to you. It may be appropriate to address some ideas, some mindset around money. Yeah, there's a lot that seems to be hanging in the balance here. It seems to me that like whatever's taking place, it's going to change your world either way. The Tower is just like, hey, you know, this is happening because you've been working in divine collaboration with Source, and Source isn't going to let this slip by. So you can try to hold on to it. You can try to juggle, you know, the narrative, but what's meant to be is going to be. And I think that you started this knowing at some point that yes, there was risk involved for you in terms of having to reveal who you are, feeling exposed. But I think you got so wrapped up into it that maybe you just forgot about that, and now you're being confronted with it again. Let's get some advice for my viewer. Some advice for viewer, please. I want to know what you're working on. I really do. And I would respect anyone who just puts themselves out there. We have the Ace of Wands. There's a new beginning here, and you know, don't be afraid of getting the returns that you deserve for the hard work that you've put in. The Sun is popping up in reverse yet again. Don't dim your light at this time. There's one of the things about whatever's happening here is that you're phasing out some of the old processes. It's time to, you know, there's something else out there for you. It's time to surrender this project, not give it up or give it away, but it's time to offer it to, you know, whatever audience is waiting for it, because there's more opportunity for you. There's a new idea coming in. And it's on the, it's like waiting for you. It's here, and it's really waiting for, it's waiting for you to get out of your way here, to get out of this Two of Swords, you know, denial place, and to move passionately towards this a new project, a new opportunity that's waiting for you. Let's pull an outcome card or two, please, Spirit, Angels, Guides. Means of Light and Love. Can I get the outcome card from my viewer? Outcome. Justice. Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords. There's an opportunity for evolution here. There's an opportunity to ignite new ideas, and also make new communications. This is what, you know, this is what was meant to be all along. What the good work that you've been doing, that you're doing now, it was always meant to evolve into something else, into the next beautiful thing. So don't be afraid of sharing this and offering it, because something else is coming in. It's time to make space for the new brilliant idea. I'm feeling really privileged to have been able to sit in this energy. Thank you so much for what you're doing and all the hard work that you've done. I hope that this reading has given you some confirmation that the divine is on your side, and that there is something waiting for you when you surrender this, and the love you liberate in your work is the only love that you truly keep. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I hope I get to see you again soon. Bye.